Midnight has been a fairly divisive expansion for a decent number of people, especially with regards to its story, narrative, lore, and overall just the vibe of the game. Does it feel like Warcraft? Yada yada yada. This is a conversation we've been having back and forth for a while. But in spite of all of that, there is one thing that really managed to break through all that discussion. And that was that the Amani are freaking awesome. Even amongst the detractors of Midnight, people will absolutely praise how awesome the Amani are and how cool it was to see them return to the game. People just love the Amani. And the follow-up conversation that occurs every single time anyone likes a race in World of Warcraft is, when are they going to become playable? And with the Amani, that's actually a really good question. It's something that's been speculated about since they announced the existence of the Amani in Midnight. And there are a few reasons for that. One, the Amani are a core Warcraft race. They have been around for a very, very long time, dating all the way back to Warcraft 2. They are about as core Warcraft gets. So seeing them playable would be really cool. It's something people have wanted for a really long time. A lot of people, including myself, have always wanted to play as the Amani ever since we saw them in TBC and Wrath. We thought they were cool, thought they were awesome, wanted to play as them. And it's not that much of a stretch to have a new troll race in the Horde. That kind of makes perfect sense, actually. And especially in the context of what we are doing at the moment, where we're befriending the tribe, doing all that stuff, yeah, adding them to our alliances makes a lot of sense. I'm guessing they'd be a Horde race, but at this point, I don't really care, just as long as they get added to the game. On top of that, Amani customization has been something troll players have wanted for ages, because while Darkspear trolls are undeniably awesome, Amani just capture the fantasy of playing as a troll berserker a lot better than the Darkspear do, because they are, bigger, they're stronger, they're more intimidating, all of these things. It's the perfect trifecta. People want it, it makes sense within the world, it's something that feels very Warcraft and it would appeal a lot to old fans as well as current fans, so obviously they were going to do it, surely, right? So it's going to be a thing in the expansion, we don't need to worry about it. Well, not exactly. So what we actually got was Amani customizations for Darkspear, and all these were skin tones, which feels rather insulting, frankly, because one of the main things, the main reason people want Amani isn't because of the green skin. I mean, that's nice, getting, different new customizations, always great, love it. But what people wanted the Amani for wasn't their skin color, it was for their body type. The fact that these are big hulking troll berserkers, and that's just something that the Darkspears don't capture. So giving us Amani customizations that don't capture the entire reason people wanted Amani is insane. That it's not even close. So, maybe this was a holdover, and we knew we were getting like an Amani patch in the 0.1, and that's only gotten confirmed since, so maybe they were just saving it for that. Well, no, they weren't, and they confirmed as much, so it's not currently part of the plan to have playable Amani, and if they somehow got added, which they didn't promise they would, it's not ruled out, but it's not, a thing that is guaranteed to happen by any stretch of the imagination, it's not something that's going to happen for a while. So we're not getting it during the Amani patch, and if anything, we'd maybe be getting it in Last Titan if we got it. So this is where the rant section starts, and I'm just gonna put a disclaimer out there. I'm gonna try not to get too heated, but this is one of the most obviously insanely stupid decisions that Blizzard has ever made, and it's part of a pattern. It isn't just the Amani. It all comes back to one question, and this question is really simple. Why the fuck wasn't this part of the plan? What are we doing? How did you conceptualize bringing back the Amani, allying with them, and then choose not to make them playable? What the fuck? What are we doing, guys? So as we talked about, this race makes perfect sense as a playable race. It's one that there is a lot of demand for, it fits all the criteria in terms of lore, it's a core Warcraft race, and it's been long requested for ages. So why wouldn't you do it? You'd think if Blizzard is a company that just wants to make money, which is, what they get accused of all the time, they would make the thing that people would pay money to race change all their characters to. I know I would. Probably not all, but 3 or 4, probably. I would do that, and I have no doubt thousands upon thousands of other people would as well. It would be a really big hit. A lot of people want Amani. There's been more demand for Amani than there were for Tuskarr or Ethereals or any of the other ones that have come and gone. The Amani are so highly demanded and everybody wants them. It is the easiest win in the world. The easiest win in the world for Blizzard to just say, hey, everyone loves the Amani. Everyone has always loved the Amani. We're making them a major part of the narrative. There is a perfect setup for them to join the factions, But we do all that, and then we don't follow through. We don't make them playable, despite the fact that it's an easy win. And it begs the question, why the hell are you not taking the easy win? It doesn't make literally any sense. But this isn't the first time this has happened. This is a cycle at this point of Blizzard seeing an obvious race that everyone is in demand for, everyone wants it to be playable, and they're just going, well, we don't feel like making money today. We don't want to do that, so we're just not going to do it. The biggest examples for this are easily the Tuskarr and Dragonflight. Tuskarrs have been a hugely demanded race ever since Wrath of the Lich King. It's an OG race, everyone loves it, everyone wants it, and they just didn't do it. They just brought them back. We're like, here, Tuskarr, we're just not going to do anything with that, so have a good one. And skipping ahead to War Within, we bring back the Ethereals in a very, very big way. We get a whole Koresh patch, we go to their home world, and the Ethereals, man, they're about as old as it gets. They're as old as the Amani in terms of people wanting to play as them, because they're just cool. And for the longest time, the argument was, hey, you wouldn't be able to equip gear, you wouldn't be able to equip all the item slots, so it just wouldn't work, that's why it's not playable. Well, guess what? We have fucking Drakthir now. That doesn't work as an excuse, Blizzard. That no longer flies. You have no reason not to make the Ethereals playable. And again, we just didn't do it. We're just like, that would make us a lot of money. If we don't really feel like it, let's pass on that one. These are core Warcraft races that people have wanted for, like 20 years at this point? And we're just passing on the opportunity to do it, going, it's fine. Why would we do that? Why would we give the players something they've wanted for 20 fucking years? I don't know. Maybe because we give you money, Blizzard. Maybe that's like the idea. Maybe. I don't know. But it's not just that it would make Blizzard money. Obviously, I don't really care about Blizzard making money. I'm not the CEO of Blizzard. I don't really care. I just want to have fun in the game. And Amani, Ethereals, Tuskarr, all of these things would make the game way more fun for me because I'd be playing these races that I really like. That would be awesome. And it's the same for millions of people. I feel comfortable saying millions. I have no doubt if they made all three of those races playable, they would get millions of race changes. There's no freaking way they wouldn't. All of those have been demanded for ages. Ages. So many players that have lapsed, that have been gone for 20 years or something ridiculous like that, would be like, oh my god, they finally made Ethereals playable? They finally made Amani playable? I haven't touched WoW in like a decade, but I'll give it a go. I'll go see what it's like. And it would be one thing if there was a really good reason why this was the case. Why they just couldn't do these races, or it would be way too much work, stuff like that. But we know that's not the case, because we've been getting allied races. Still, to this day, we've gotten Earthen, we've gotten Drakthir, we've gotten Harandir, but we haven't gotten any of the ones that people actually want. Now, to be clear, I don't have any issue with the races I just listed existing. The Earthen, the Drakthir, and the Harandir are totally fine, they can exist, I don't care. That's cool. I'm not going to play any of them? That's fine. Not everything has to appeal to me. I don't like Vulpera, I'm never playing a Vulpera. But I'm glad they exist for the community that likes them. That's fine by me. I don't give a shit. But what I do care about is when those races that appeal to, being very generous, niche sections of the World of Warcraft player base are being prioritized over core races that the fans of this franchise have wanted for 20 fucking years. That is insane. It is actually bonkers. The best explanation I can piece together is that it's just coming down from, I guess, the writer's room or whoever, that these are the races that they are interested in. Obviously, in War Within, despite the fact that the Earthen were older, and they've been in the game for a long time, the Earthen's culture basically got reinvented from the ground up with War Within. That was a big focus of that expansion, and it's something that it did really well. I liked the Earthen in, I almost said Midnight, the Earthen in War Within. They were really cool. I liked them. I don't want to play as them. I'm good, thanks. The Drakthir were a way of giving us, the dragons that people have always wanted to play as, except, skirting the rules to then not actually give us the dragons we wanted to play as. But it was a new thing that they were introducing, a new culture, a new faction, all of this stuff. Same thing with the Harandir. It's a new thing that's being introduced. It's very like, oh, look, they were here the whole time. Again, these are races that are coming out of nowhere that I'm guessing the writing team has some kind of interest in, and that's somehow getting prioritized, when what should be getting prioritized is what the players want. If you're obsessed with the frickin' Earthen or whatever, and you want them to be a playable race, fine, I don't care. But when you're gonna deny us things that we've wanted for ages, I'm literally at a loss for words. I don't know what to say, because it is so insanely frustrating that these golden opportunities for like PR, for marketing, for Blizzard to make money, but just to make their core fans happy, their core player base happy, to bring people back to the game, they're just passing up on it like it's nothing, and then just giving us Earthen instead. It speaks to either a total and utter disconnect from the player base to where they think putting in fucking Earthen or Drakthir or Harandir is going to be in any way comparable to putting in the Amani, or like, I guess some kind of malicious, oh, we don't want to give them the things they want, but like, that doesn't even make fucking sense, because it's Blizzard. They want money, right? Right? Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what else there is to say, really. Like, the problem is, this whole thing is so obvious that it defies all comprehension that they just aren't doing it. It doesn't make any sense. They're willing to put in the work to do Drakthir. They're willing to keep adding races with the Earthen and the Harandir, but they just aren't willing to do the races that people have always wanted. I don't know who is in charge of making these decisions at Blizzard, but whoever it is seemingly just entirely disconnected from what the WoW player base wants and has absolutely no fucking clue what they're talking about, or worse, they just don't give a shit. If the vast majority of the WoW player base wants playable money in the game, who gives a shit? Frankly, fuck them. We're gonna put Harandir instead, and that's gonna be like, what, 2% of the player base or something? Like, cool. Like, I'm glad that it has its audience, but like, Amani would be huge, dude. It would be huge. And the fact that this, again, was not part of the plan, and seemingly at this point, it really doesn't seem like it's going to be part of the plan, maybe in Last Titan, but honestly, the silence is kind of deafening. It would be the easiest win in the world to announce, hey, we do have Playable Amani. It's coming. Amani are going to be in the Last Titan, or what have you. It would be the biggest win in the world. It would be a massive W for Blizzard. They would get so much goodwill off it, and the fact that they aren't doing it kind of just seems like they aren't going to do it. And I just can't understand why. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Look, I get that implementing new races is hard. It's a challenging process with lots of animations and all that jazz, lots of old armor sets that you have to retroactively put onto new races. I get it. I understand why this isn't an easy thing to do. But in these cases, dear fucking lord, it is worth the effort. Just recognize that. I don't know how in the world we are able to get Drakthir and Harandir and Earthen, but we can't get fucking Amani. It's insane. Look, I'm just gonna loop on this if no one stops me, so I'm gonna stop myself. But my god, it's so stupid. It's so annoying. I love Midnight. I'm having a great time in Midnight. But this actively pisses me off so much, because not only is Blizzard just losing a fucking amazing opportunity, they're denying me, personally, what I want more than any other allied race. If I could choose between Tuskarr, Amani, or Ethereals, it would be Amani, every day. I really want Tuskarr. I really want Tuskarr. But man, an Amani Shaman would be so cool. I really hope that whatever's going on at Blizzard, they figure it the fuck out, and they get to the point where they can make the obvious decisions, both for their player base and for their financials. Again, there's just absolutely no reason why they shouldn't be doing this. There's no reason Playable Amani shouldn't already be in the game. Look, I hope that they do it. I hope that this video ages exceptionally poorly. Maybe the second I put this video out, Blizzard will put up a post and they'll be like, look guys, we've heard all of your outcry for Playable Amani, and it was a miss on our part not to include them at launch, so we've been working really, really hard on them, and we're happy to announce that now, with the new Amani patch coming out, Amani are going to be a playable race. So look forward to that, guys. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe this will age poorly. I don't think it will. I had hope it would at the start of the expansion, but the silence has just been deafening. I don't think it's happening. And I honestly don't even know if I think it's happening in Midnight. Even though we could get the Drakari added to it, we could get that as like a new customization, have Drakari customizations for Amani, and have it actually be what people want. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I hope that they get their shit together. I hope they come to their senses and do the obvious thing. But I honestly, it really doesn't seem like Blizzard is capable of doing the obvious crowd-pleasing thing anymore. It's really strange. I don't know. Alright, well, on that very optimistic note, I guess I will see you all next week. Have a good one. Bye.